Hey guys, we're going to talk about planting tomatoes again and take another look at the root system and exactly how it grows. I kind of did a video on part of this last spring, why you plant tomatoes so deep. What I'm going to do right now is show a real quick clip of that, and I want y'all to pause it and take a look at the root growth. Just stop for a minute and take a look at the entire stem, and then you'll see how the rest of this plays into that. This is the root system of a vine that I pulled up that I was finished with and made the fruit, and I wanted to see what was going on. Dug it up real easy. Alright, that was too fast. I don't think y'all click pause. Anyway, what I got right here is two more root systems, what's left of them. I didn't get the little small ones come off the end down here, but these came out of the two of the square buckets, and as you can see, they look pretty good, don't they? This is one I washed out. Looks nice and full. This one too, great big fuzzy thing. Still got the bottom roots on it. But if you notice in that other clip, if you stopped and looked at it, there was a section in there on the stem where you really didn't have anything, just like this one right here. That plant at the time was a brandywine that was planted probably about that deep in the ground, and so you got a longer stretch in there as far as the green stem goes, where you really didn't get much root growth. You get a few little fuzzies here and there, but for the most part what I'm seeing is you get about 2 inches up at the top where you get all your growth at. Take a look at this one right here. Great big fuzzy. I didn't wash this one out, but when you flip it around, you get a closer look at it, you get the same thing. You got about 2 inches up at the top where you get a massive growth of roots, and then you really don't get anything. So it seems to me like regardless of whether you put this thing in the ground 6 inches or 12 inches, about the only roots you're going to get growing, the primary ones, are going to be in this top 2 inches of soil right here. I guess that has something to do with maybe where to get the oxygen at. I'm not a root expert, but I can only go by what I'm seeing right now, and that's what I see. It doesn't matter how deep you put it, you're only going to get roots, the best roots, right at the top 2 inches or so. You'll still get these other small ones, but this right here is nothing compared to this mass. And to explain this just a little bit further, I'm going to go to the drawing board real quick. Okay, to put it in black and white, we're going to make believe this is 3 different tomato plants. This is the first one that I planted in ground. It was actually planted in November 2010, the root system that you saw in that little clip. And these are the two that you just looked at. One planted just a little bit deeper than the other in the bucket. And the original root balls down here. And this is ground level. And what you saw was this zone right in here, about 2 inches, is where all the action was at. This is where everything was growing. Yeah, they did make little fuzzies, you know, along the rest of the stem, but by and large, the growth was up in here, in this area. That's kind of new for me because I had always assumed that the root development was fairly consistent all the way down here until I started looking further into it. So I'm going to figure out a way to try to get more growth out of this right here. I'll show that to you in just a little bit, but it ain't nothing new. Folks been doing it for years and years. But recently Luke up in Michigan had this idea where if you took your tomato plant like so, and your plant was growing, and here's your root down here and everything, as it was growing, what he said, or his suggestion, was to wait till it got up here big enough and then come in and put a 5-gallon bucket on it above ground, and then fill this up with soil, and he said you're going to get root growth up and down this stem right here. And based on what I'm seeing right now, that's not going to happen. You're going to get maybe something right up in here, but you're not going to get anything up and down this the rest of the stem. A 5-gallon bucket's pretty tall, and you're going to have a lot of stem there with not much going on. His assumption was 30 to 50% increase in production. That's what the name of the video was anyway. I'm not going to say that's misleading and stuff like that. I'm going to call it a youthful exuberance. But I don't see that that's going to work. A better method would be to do what they do with the potato towers. As that tomato was growing, if you wanted to try to increase the root growth, would be to come along like they do with the tomatoes, and they just potatoes, and they add a board as it grows until you end up here, you know, about 4 or 5 foot tall or something like that. Then you come out and start digging potatoes from the bottom. Now, I use grow bags all the time. For the most part, I did use some buckets, but I got a way that I can do this with a grow bag. I'm going to do it two ways. One of them, I'm going to put a bag in it. It's actually, this is going to be my ground level because it's in a bag. So I'm going to make it so I can pull this bag up all at one time. And I'm going to fill it with soil, and we'll see what happens. And the other one, I'm going to pull the bag up in this manner right here, just a little bit each time, you know, about 3 inches, and then fill it up with soil as the plant grows. In about 6 or 7 months, we'll come back and take a look, and we'll see exactly what kind of root growth came along there. Let me go show you what I'm talking about. What I got right here is 3 identical big beefs. I just bagged these things up yesterday, and each one is double bagged. So, to explain what I was just talking about, what you can do, if you wanted to try to follow this thing up, if it's double bagged, you can take this bag real easy and just pull it up a little bit, fill it in with soil, pull it up some more, fill it some more, and as this plant continues to grow, just keep filling it with soil. And when I say soil, grow mix, whatever it is that you're growing in, same thing. And just keep on till you eventually get the thing all the way up here, and all of this will be full of your grow mix. And see what kind of root system you have in there. That's how easy. That's the thing I like about grow bags. They're so versatile. So what I have right here, I got 2 that are double bagged, and whichever one takes off first, gets up tallest, where I can go ahead and start adjusting it, I'll pull the bag up some and fill it in. I just put them in, so I want to give them about a week or so to get established, and then I'll start the process. But one of them I will follow it incrementally in about 3 inches, and the other one, probably this one, after it gets up about to here, where I got enough room to pull this bag all the way up, I'll do it and backfill it, and we'll compare the two at the end of the season. Alright, this is what I'm going to do to try to get more root growth along this stem, and also make it easier on me planting these things. It's nothing new. Folks have been doing this for years and years, planting tomatoes in the trench. I usually don't do it. I'll tell you why in just a minute. But basically what I'm going to do is cut some more of these leaves off. I won't be needing them. Get them out of the way. And what you got, dig your trench, lay your plant in it like so. See if it's got a natural curve into it that you can work with. Find out where your root mass is going to be. Dig down just a little bit deeper. Ruffle it up some. Pull the dirt up around it. Finish filling in around this stem. And then kind of come in here and just push that up just a little bit. Folks have been doing this for years and years. I don't do it outside in the garden because this is the stem of the plant, and you would think all your roots would be right around here, but they're actually all the way out here. So if you come along chopping with weeds, that kind of stuff, I'd tear my roots all to pieces. So I usually just go a whole lot deeper and stick the plant down in there. But from what I'm seeing, there's not that much of an advantage. I'd be better off to keep it up at the top, where I can keep it watered and fed and get a whole lot more root growth. The one advantage to planting it deeper, though, would be in an area where it was pretty dry and you wanted to get your roots down as far as possible so they could get water, especially during the summertime when it's just so hot and dry. That would help out a whole lot. But I think as far as root growth goes, if you can keep that stem actually closer to the surface where it can get more oxygen and you can feed it a whole lot faster, that might be the way to go. We're going to try it and find out anyways. The rest of these are ones that I did last night. Finished up out here about 6:30, something like that. And you can see that those stems are already starting to turn up. They're gonna seek the light just like you and I do, or like we should do anyway. So I hope that was helpful. Maybe you learned a thing or two. I'd encourage anybody else to do your own studies. I may be wrong, but from what I'm seeing right now, other than the deal with trying to get it deep enough where you get more moisture to your roots, I can't see much difference between planting it 6 inches deep and 16 inches deep. And Luke, I ain't trying to give you a hard time, man. I got to give you props for at least thinking outside the box as far as your bucket goes. But I think you might be better off to just follow this plant up like you do the potatoes. Might get a little bit more root growth that way. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.